Hi, welcome to another episode of ChequedTV. I'm Vincent Smith, Director of Client Results with Chequed, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about this concept of candidate completion rates, specifically as they apply to candidates applying to companies, and most notably for our clients, integrated with an upfront assessment as a piece of that overall application, right? And the big concern here is what are typical completion rates? What are the candidate drop-off rates? And what can we do to increase the completion rates of people going through and filling out our applications and taking the assessments? And the reality is that, it doesn't matter. We don't want people focusing on that. Here's the number one reason why, right? Completion rates for your candidates in the application process don't really tie in to business results, right? And when I say business results, I mean things like customer service, increase in sales, repeat business, client satisfaction or customer satisfaction, right? You can't draw a straight line from those kind of business results back to your completion rates in your application process. What you can draw back from business results are things like quality of hire, right? The number of top performers you're hiring, and the reduction or just outright elimination of poor hires, right? Those things have definitive impacts on your business results. Completion rates, though, don't even impact whether you get to hire top performers or not, or help you reduce low performers. So focusing on that right off the bat, it's kind of taking your eye off the ball. It's a distraction, right? The reality is that the application process is, in and of itself, an integral part of your screening process, right? It's that first piece of the screening process. And let me give you an example here. We've got a client who very recently moved their application process online. And they were, had the same and very valid concerns that everybody does, that, oh my God, we're not going to be able to, capture all these applicants coming in. Our applicant flow is going to drop. And the reality is they went from 20,000 applicants a year to over 20,000 a quarter just by driving the entire process, application and assessment, online and up front, right? And the hiring managers had more than enough top performers that were weeded out in that early process to choose from. So we weren't losing top performers, and they certainly had plenty to choose from to make sure they were avoiding the bad hires, right? So the fact that, whatever their completion rate was, and it happened to be around 70%, was really irrelevant. It had nothing to do with this over here. So that application process is part of the upfront screening process, and it's important, and it's an important one. I have another client who recently, as soon as they brought their application process online, saw a jump to about 68% in the number of applicants coming through the system. Once again, with that kind of flow, as long as you have the system automated up front, you're going to be able to weed out people quick and get to those top performers and not worry about whether every single person made it through the process. And the reality is 100% of the available candidate universe is not going to be necessarily a good fit for your position. So we don't need to make sure that everybody can make it through. Look, you want to make your application process easy for 100% of people to get through. Reduce it to being able to draw a straight line with a large crayon, right? Everybody can do that, or at least we hope. Instead, what we'd like you to do is focus on some of the basics, right? Your time is better spent on the basics. So when I say the basics, I mean a couple of things here. One, knowing what you're trying to look for when you set up your application process, and making sure that you're asking questions that are helping to determine if a person is a good fit for your job and for your position. You don't need a life history. We don't need to make it long. We don't need to make it, this very long and drawn out thing. Probably, actually, if it's long or short really doesn't matter, as long as you're trying to get the information to help determine if the person's going to be a good fit, right? That's first and foremost. Number two, gear your application process to the audience that you're trying to hire. If you're trying to hire engineers, then a very expressive an integrated math test or something of the nature may be appropriate. If you're trying to hire cashiers, guess what? An essay or something of that nature probably isn't appropriate. So once again, it's not whether it's difficult, easy, short, or long. It's, is it appropriate for your particular audience and the type of people that you need to hire to impact your business results? We just did another ChequedTV series based on setting candidate expectations. That's, I encourage everyone to go back and view that, because it really talks about the fact that if, not only if we gear everything toward your audience, Make it so you're trying to get the right information about candidates pertaining to your job. But if you also treat them like people and set the expectations up front about what they're going to be doing and why they're doing it, right? The right people will complete the application for you. You don't have to worry about dropping out some of those top performers. So, once again, that's why we say candidate completion rates. It's a topic of big concern today, but it just doesn't matter because it has really nothing to do with the business results over here. We want you to focus on the things that do matter. The correct audience, getting the correct information, and making it ultimately easy for you to identify your top performers and avoid bad hires. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us for another round of ChequedTV, and we'll hope to catch up with you soon.